Welcome back to the channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit different of a video than what you're used to on the channel where we do travel vlogs and everything else like that. But some news has hit the RV industry and I feel like I need to make a reaction or kind of my review video. Axiom RVs, you guys may have heard of them. You've got Josh the RV nerd, you've got Matt, and now Miles. They were all doing like a debut video in the last couple days, and I've been excited to see Axiom's product hit the market. I've been seeing it on Facebook, I've been seeing them on YouTube here and there kind of popping up, and I've been really excited about the product. As you guys know, I may have some bias because we own a Brinkley G3950, and after purchasing that, a few months later, we heard about this Axiom company and had been seeing some really cool things about them. Mainly the outside and what the outside looked like, and it was really cool, and I had seen a few things of the inside. It looked massive, but we just really liked the way it looked. And I was like, oh my God, did we make a mistake in purchasing the Brinkley too soon before a company like this goes on the market? And guys like Miles and Matt and Josh and all those guys have done some reviews, and we watched those reviews yesterday, and I don't know if we're going to watch this video together, and I'm going to kind of give you guys my thoughts and my feedback on Axiom, and hopefully Axiom can see this, or some other people can see this and maybe comment down below what they think is some good ideas, some bad ideas, some key takeaways. Now, keep in mind these Axiom RVs that these guys are reviewing are prototypes, but they're saying in the videos that I've watched that they're planning on hitting the market in October, which is only a month from now. And so having a prototype go to full production in October, I don't think they're going to be making a lot of different changes on these models. I've got some critiques, I've got some highlights and some things that I really like about them. So stick around to the end and find out, did we make a mistake on the Brinkley and we are ready to put a deposit down on this Axiom, and this is going to be our new toy hauler of choice, or are we going to stick it out with the Brinkley and feel like we made a confident decision? So I'll give you my thoughts on that at the end. Now, before I get started in this video, I do want to say that I am loving what the industry is doing lately. Companies like Brinkley and now Axiom are really changing the game to where they're stepping away from these conglomerate models where you have like Keystone and Thor and these guys that are kind of dominating the industry, and now you have these independent guys that are going in and creating something that is kind of against the grain and something that I think we've all been wanting for a while and didn't really have access to it. And really like being able to, like with Brinkley, we're able to give direct feedback to Brinkley in Facebook groups and emails and on YouTube videos. We know that the owners of those companies are actually watching and listening to the feedback of what the customers are saying, because we're seeing changes happen retroactively to the things that are being said. And so it's neat to see a lot of these guys go out, be independent, not be owned by some conglomerate where it's just another number, and actually starting to change the game and come up with a lot of new and exciting innovations. And I think Axiom, once we watch this video together, you're going to see a lot of cool stuff that Axiom's come up with. And I'm excited about to see maybe the industry start to adapt some of this stuff. So let's get started in the video. So I'm going to watch Miles' video here. What I am going to do, I'm going to speed it up a little bit because this is a 44-minute long video and I don't want this video to be too long. So we're going to go, let's just go to 1.25, makes the speaking a little faster.
RV options that they will have. This is a toy hauler model here, and if you don't know, this is so exciting because...
Now, I was going to do Josh's video, Josh the RV nerd, but he didn't do the toy hauler model, and being as I can compare, you know, that I have a toy hauler, the G, I really wanted to see the Vendetta, which is Axiom's toy hauler model. I really wanted to see the review of that and kind of give my take on that, because I'm coming from a toy hauler, and if this is something that I want to purchase, the toy hauler would probably be the version that I want. And right now Josh has only done their non-toy hauler version, which is the Imperium, and this is again the toy hauler, which is the Vendetta. And then Matt did a review on it, but he does a review with the owner, so he did one on the Vendetta, but he does it with the owner, and that's just going to be too many people talking, I think. So I think Miles is good because he's doing the toy hauler. I can do some talking, he can do some talking. There's not too much input going in there. So no hate on Matt whatsoever. Great review. Loved it. I've seen all of them, Matt's, Josh's, and Miles. And so I feel like this is kind of the best one for me to do a review on.
Axiom is a brand new fifth wheel RV brand coming to market for 2025 going into 2026. And with them being a completely new RV brand, obviously they have...
I am going to be doing a little bit of jumping around just because there's going to be some fluff and some talking and some other things that you can go and kind of look up on your own. I just wanted to kind of give my honest feedback and see you guys in the comments honest feedback as well on if you think this is something that you may be interested in. So I am going to be doing a little bit of skipping around, and I'm sorry for that. If you guys want to go see the full review, I'll link it down below, but also you can go check out Miles RVs, and you can see that full 44-minute long review that he does, and he does a great job at it.
A little bit longer than what my videos typically are, but look at here as thoroughly as we possibly can. Speak about something, some of you happen to miss anything or missing anything, but I'm not perfect, so we will try our absolute best.
First off, I love the way this looks. I think this is the midnight package, which doesn't have any white or anything. I mean, it's just a blacked out package. I love the lights here on the front. I mean, you can change the different colors of them. Really reminds me of a Brinkley here, but one thing that I've already noticed right here is a campside master bedroom slide, and then you can also see some lights in here. Now, I have seen some pre-production Axiom models, and I know that this is the front bedroom area, and there's a washer dryer in the front, and there's just like this wall of nothing there, and it looks so plain. And so I'm excited to already see that this has a window here, and that is probably going to change the inside of that master bedroom up a lot.
So starting up front on this fifth wheel RV, you see this massive front cap. This is truly the biggest front cap.
Something that I like about this over the Brinkley is, again, an opposing slide on the campside. So I already know that you're going to have a bed and then a closet space on the opposite side, and that's just going to open up that room so much more, so that I am already liking that.
On any fifth wheel RV in the industry, this thing is massive, which is really going to increase the headroom in this fifth wheel. Now, one of the biggest things that is contributing to being able to build such a bigger fifth wheel RV than what we see.
So one thing that's cool is, I don't know if you saw that light that kind of went down the side right there. I've heard that they're going to be able to turn that into a blinker when you plug that into your truck, so the whole side of the RV will blink on the side that you're turning on, like an orange or amber color. Based on DOT
standard is the fact that they are doing a mini split air conditioning system. So up along your roof, unfortunately I don't have a ladder anywhere out here to get up onto the roof because these don't have ladders already installed on them. They have the bracket for a retractable ladder.
Like
but up along the roof, there are no AC units on the roof. There are no skylights in the roof, and there are no vents in the roof. So they are making it a less hassle, more maintenance-free type of roof design. And a big portion of that is the fact that they're going...
That is cool. I mean, so we're already seeing it here. There's a mini split unit there. Some issues that I'm already seeing on the front is how low this unit is. I don't know if they're trying to set up where they're like a destination trailer or a park style trailer, but that is so low that I would be super scared to do a lot of boondocking or things like that. And again, I know this is their first set of models, but if there's a way that you could turn this on its side somehow and tuck it underneath the belly, or something where you wouldn't have it up and down vertical like this, you can have it more horizontal underneath the unit. I don't know if that's possible with airflow. I don't really know about mini split units, but that is just something that I'm noticing right off the bat is the camper's already low to the ground, and now you have this mini split that's
AC
already
systems that sit here underneath this
fairly low,
removing any sort of AC units from the roof, which means they can still get that 13 foot 2-inch, somewhere around there, height on this fifth wheel RV. So overall height right above 13 feet. But while every other fifth wheel RV out there in the market is at that like 13 and a half foot mark, that includes the height of the ACs up top, which are probably at least about 8 inches tall, maybe 10 inches tall. I don't know exactly the height of those AC units, but...
So what he's saying here is essentially, you have height restrictions on a camper. Well, it's taking off the roof-mounted air conditioning units. Basically, you're able to raise up the whole roof. Since you're deleting this, so where this was, you're now able to bring the whole roof line up, and now that goes away, and your whole roof line is able to be raised up significantly higher. And you'll see that going into the master bedroom. The height area that you have in there is awesome. Another thing that I like is I'm seeing these Girard awnings, which is pretty cool. I like those because you don't have these big weird looking arms hanging off the side, and I just feel like they look a little bit better. They're kind of that Class A diesel pusher type look, and I do like that look as well. Another thing that I'm noticing is all the space.
Nonetheless, they took all that
front.
additional space, still built this ceiling or this roof up to that same height, but now you get all that space on the inside of the RV versus it being allocated basically for the height of the RV on the outside with those AC units. And really that's just, that regulation is there and in place to make sure you can go under bridges. So now that gives them almost a whole additional foot to work with on interior space inside of here by not having roof. This is again their midnight edition, so it's all black here, and this is all, it looks like a silicone around the is have the seals down underneath here to
looks,
seal all this off properly.
Looks good. I'm more of a fan of the Gen Y gooseneck style, just so I don't have to have the fifth wheel hitch, you know, in my bed. So
pull out storage tray in the front storage compartment. Now,
that's something that I would be curious about, is if you could change that. I don't know if they're going to allow you to change that or not. If, you know, it depends on the warranty and all that kind of good stuff, but I would like to know, can you change that to a gooseneck? Gen Y.
Another huge thing that is different about this fifth wheel RV is instead of doing aluminum framing throughout this entire fifth wheel RV,
and what you'll notice too is there's no generator right there
on this fifth
on the
wheel.
front.
So a much stronger metal than aluminum, and that is one of the only fifth wheel RVs in the market that will be doing a steel frame around their unit.
Cool.
So really cool, interesting opening there for that storage space. Then we come along this side, you can see the siding does go all the way down around the drop frame area right here. So
here
it does
where
kind
you
of
see there's like
so when your slides are closed up and everything's pushed close together, it's a pretty nice seamless look.
On the Brinkley we have drawers that come out, which is nice.
But right here we have this LED light strip that runs the entire length, which turns the color signal when you are hooked up to your vehicle, which is a pretty nice little safety.
You can see this
there, and then we have your light controls here from here, access door to a lot of your electrical components.
So what they're saying is there's the inverters and the solar there. I don't know all the solar specifications of it yet. I don't think they really know everything. But what I'm seeing there is no Victron, no rich solar. I'm not really seeing any components that I see like name brands of, but it does not look like it is adequate enough. And I don't even know where the batteries are at. They never talked about where the battery locations are, but it does not. It just doesn't look like it's up to standards. So that is one critique that I have now is, I mean, I do see they got something going on over here with some solar charge controller. I don't think that that's going to be up to industry standards, and I think that's going to be a big gripe and complaint, as I am just not seeing anything good here.
Your light controls here for the color change.
Light controller.
Back behind that panel.
Shut off.
So we keep coming back this way. Another innovative design. Now, they're not the only brand to ever do this, but one of the few, doing an entry door in the slide out. Entry door in the slide out.
Entry door in the slide out. I've seen some Cyclones, seen some different toy haulers that have that. I'm not opposed to it, but I think the biggest issue that you're going to have is campsites that are very small, and you're already having to put a slide out and steps coming down. You may be off the side of where your campsite is, or in storage where you're having to pull something into storage. You're very close to another camper. You may be close enough to get a slide out and let your stairs down beside that if they're on the camper, not the slide itself. But once it gets on the slide, you're pushing your stairs way out, and you may be hitting another camper beside you in storage or whatever if you need to get up in there. Like the idea for more floor space, but I don't think it's very practical for a lot of people.
Allows for a lot more flexible floor plan design. Not a whole lot of brands doing this, but Axiom will be one of them. And we'll go ahead and step inside. We'll address the rest of the outside when we come back out. Have their own grab handle here that it looks like is Axiom. And then they have the composite steps. We're seeing this on more and more fifth wheel RVs going into 2026, where it's still, you know, the same kind of weight and size of the steps we've had in the past, but they're just a composite material here versus a metal. Was a little surprised to see there is no strut assist on the step here, so you do have to support the full weight of that step. And that window is about 3 to 4 times the length of the traditional window on
our Brinkley. The shade is terrible, so hopefully they've kind of figured that out. I hate opening and closing that because the shade just kind of crumples up. Brinkley owners and other people that have that same door know it's terrible.
And then the whole door itself is
I like that extra handle on the door right there, because we added that. We added one on ours that looks janky, but it's the manufacturer, like it's I want to say Lippert makes it or something, but it's like the only one we've seen. It's super janky looking, and we paid way too much money for it, but it's easier for our kids to open and close with that. I like how they added that from the factory. It seems that it's just a nice little added touch, and it looks a little more seamless than
hopefully y'all appreciated the thumbnail on this video. I actually took come and get that, how nice this RV looks on the inside. As we look around, right away, like I think the first thing that I tangibly noticed when I walked in here is it feels so much bigger than any other fifth wheel RV that I could think of.
Something that I'm noticing right off the bat, though, is the kitchen looks
I had to really process and think about everything and understand why does it feel so much bigger. Well, when they're able to push that ceiling line up higher by not having any roof mounted AC, you can see no skylights in the AC, no vents, anything. I mean, they really.
So one thing that's neat about this too is you can see there's no vents, there's no AC, there's no nothing, which allows for a much more seamless roof where you don't have so much stuff cutting holes into the roof, which is nice. So it just helps out the longevity of your roof, and it keeps less things penetrating the roof and all that kind of good stuff.
make it so that they can increase the ceiling height in this fifth wheel RV
Those
substantially
slide
higher
height
than any other fifth wheel
are
RV.
so
and
tall.
you feel that immediately.
I mean, you
when
can
step
tell the
inside
slide
of this
heights
fifth
are
wheel
just
RV. So not only is
massive.
the ceiling height higher, but you also have a taller slide out
And I
box
love
height
those
as well because
windows.
of that, and you feel the effects of that right away when you walk in. Also have the most seating space I think you'll find in any fifth wheel toy hauler.
I love the seating space, don't get me wrong, but it's almost overkill. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, almost like 10 people can sit right there. How many people are you really going to have inside of a camper? I think it's just overkill. I mean, a family of 4 or 5, probably max inside, and maybe you invite another family over, but you're probably going to be outside, not in your camper. Like, it's just going to be, it's a lot of seating, but it's still too small and too cramped to be inside of a camper. It's just not how you operate. You don't really want to entertain inside of a camper like this. If you're going to entertain, you're probably going to entertain outside of it.
So you have the L-shaped sofa right here. This is recliner, 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 recliner. And then here in the cup holder here, so they have strapped absolutely massive windows. It does have MCD roller shades on the windows. And I thought that they would be, you know, like a manual.
Roller shades are cool.
You can see there's this control right here.
You got a remote for it.
It's fine.
They'll come down. You also have the built-in shades,
to make
just
them go
like in
back up.
Brinkley.
With that remote.
On the lower
and then
windows.
We'll have a
Those are
pull-down
nice.
privacy shade here.
It's nice if you just want to push a button and have
And then
shade
you
really
have that
quick,
on these
and you don't want to have to
windows
sit there and
as well.
close
So you
each
can
individual
actually block out
window.
all of these windows with those.
It's pretty neat.
You two options.
I
One
love all
can
the
give you that
windows in here.
flexibility
You
of
can't go
maybe not
wrong.
wanting to go through and have the and this privacy shade coming down. This black.
I'm not going to get into
throughout
too many
here.
details. You can go
storage
and
up
watch this
overhead. Now
video
this is
and
where
get
we
into the
get
full
to
details.
showing how tall this fifth wheel RV is.
Good storage
Demonstrate
space.
Here. It is not short. So I'm standing at about 6'2" with my shoes on, and I have a step stool. This is
Love all the lighting in there. You can see the light changing
areas of
colors.
storage
It's pretty neat.
within this fifth wheel. It is just massive.
One thing that I would say is,
If we
like,
go down the
instead of a
side, all of
couch
your
being this long, it'd be nice if they have like a dinette table or something like that. That could be a table right there. Just kind of add to that, or extend the kitchen a little bit more so you can have like an island area. I don't know. I just love the G3950 feel with the island. It's kind of a L-shaped concept of the kitchen, so somebody can walk in and walk out a little bit better. The refrigerator isn't really in the kitchen. It's off to the side. Kind of like this one, but the refrigerator is a little bit more in the kitchen. The kitchen is just kind of condensed to me, and you have a lot of extra seating area, and I think I would like that to be utilized a little bit different. I love all the space, but I feel like it wasn't utilized as good as it can be. And then you're looking at this. I mean, I love this area right here. It's like a coffee bar. That's pretty cool. Backlit. We don't have a coffee bar area in the Brinkley, so I do like something like that, which is pretty neat. But I'm getting very much Brinkley vibes. Same color flooring, same color cabinet, same color countertop, same color leather on the couches. A lot of Brinkley vibes from this, and I love it. I mean, I'm not knocking it. We like the design of that.
As well.
It looks good.
You can see the button here.
What I'm seeing is a lot of
like so.
Axiom branded stuff, which is pretty cool. I'm not seeing like you're using like all the Lippert and Furrion and, you know, all the manufacturers. There's all one company that uses a bunch of different brand names for different components. I'm seeing them kind of come up with some stuff on their own, and that's pretty neat. A lot of different patented pending things
again, and it will brighten up. So lighting everywhere. You have LED light strips in the ceiling. All those will be dimmable as well. And then you have
first thing that I'm noticing is that loft area. If you're in the loft and somebody is cooking, they cannot get into this oven right here. Do the loft on the outside, on the exterior, in the garage portion. You don't have to worry about having that ladder in your kitchen. I like the idea of having a loft inside the living area just because it makes it feel a little bit nice. If you have a kid up there, they're hanging out, they want something to drink, you can hand them something to drink. They're not having to climb down, and it makes it a little bit nicer. Also, I like the privacy of it being in a toy hauler, as if they're back there and they're being loud and they're in the loft and they're hanging out and you know, playing games or doing whatever. It kind of keeps the privacy out of the living room. So there's a give and take with that. And we've had one in our Raptor that was inside the living room area. We liked it. We have it in the garage now. We like that. So I don't know which one we prefer, but I definitely would not want a ladder in my kitchen. If my wife is cooking right now and somebody's in that loft area, that ladder is going to have to be taken down, moved out of the way. If they want down in the middle of her cooking with that oven, that's just you know, good luck. And that's just kind of a hazard right there. Legs kicking down, arms kind of moving, coming down a ladder, could hit an elbow on a hot pot. That is not very well thought out, in my opinion. And hopefully, Axiom, if you guys are watching this, you can take this for just, you know, me being a camper. I know you guys are industry leaders and have been in the industry for a long time. I don't know how much you camp. I don't know if you use a toy hauler. I don't know if you have 2 kids like I do and a dog and a cat. you know, everybody's situations are completely different. Take it from me, for what it's worth, is that right there is a design fail, in my opinion, and something else needs to kind of be thought of other than that.
As we come back this way, we gotta point out this table here. I forgot about this. So
table's cool. You can take it in or out. It's not mounted.
Back in the garage with these bar stools. Party box sound system, so it's going to come with these bigger JBL speakers to use for inside or outside.
So I'm liking this JBL speaker. So basically it comes with this built-in JBL speaker. Something that I am a huge fan of with the Brinkley is the built-in surround sound, where the TV, 65-inch TV, subwoofer built into the couch. It just gives you a theater experience inside of a camper, and that just feels awesome. The Axiom is not coming with any sort of surround sound. It's coming with this JBL. And I think the JBL is a cool factor, but I don't think that they should be using this as a selling point. I really think that most people that want a speaker like this are going to put it in the toy hauler. They're going to carry it around with them. They may already own a speaker like this. I think most people are going to want surround sound, and they're going to want speakers on the outside of the camper. They're not going to want to have to lug this thing around that isn't really a part of the camper. It doesn't give the camper any enhanced experience, and I think this is kind of a fail. I think it's cool when it creates some hype and it's like, oh my God, a camper company throwing in a JBL. But I think this is going to be one of those things that's probably not going to be used by most people, especially some of your older crowd and things like that. And they're going to want built-in speakers, and they're going to want speakers in different areas. If I want to listen to it on the patio or in the garage or outside or in the living room, I'm not able, if my wife is in one area and I'm in one area, or my kids are in an area, we're listening to different channels at different times. This one speaker is not going to resolve that. It's taking up a ton of space, and I don't like how you can see this opening here. It's just a little weird, and I'm not a fan of it at all. So yeah, build in some speakers. I think that's going to be
that is a really nice speaker that it is coming with, but it does
not
not have a speaker system built into the fifth wheel RV. It's just going to be that JBL party box right here. Then we get back to the kitchen space. In the kitchen space, we have a dishwasher installed, so dishwasher coming standard. Really love to see that. We have a ladder to get up to the loft, and we'll just go ahead and knock this out real quick and climb up here and show you what's going on in this loft. Looks like we have the waterproof flooring here in this space, and pretty much like a queen-size bed there, it looks like, for this loft area. So really just designated to be a bed in this space. You have an outlet there, so you
nice
can
accent wall in this space that looks a little cheap, or whatever that is. If that's real wood,
ports here, and then you do have a
like real acoustic panels, and that's cool. But it looks like it's just kind of stick on wallpaper. I'm not a fan of that.
And that's a pretty tall loft too.
It's tall. I mean, it's taller than most loft spaces. Again, that
not hit my back up on the.
And I like having a window in there. That's nice.
As we're up here kind of investigating, I got to do a real deep dive going through.
Like their logo there. That's cool.
I am seeing that all of your trim pieces here, they look like they are
now he's
wrapped,
getting out in the kitchen,
traditional kind of material, kind of similar type. Because like you can see all of the staples where they have to staple.
They're gonna have some.
These in. They do.
I mean, these are handmade.
Some different areas
you're
of this
gonna have a
RV,
little bit of imperfections here and there, especially on prototypes, and haven't probably gotten the process down and the assembly lines down and trained everybody. I mean, this is still a new company, so I'm going to expect probably in the first year,
it won't bother them. They'll glance right over that, and some people
imperfections
looking at this area
some of the craftsmanship.
Try to be dang good all through here. I don't see
soft closed doors,
solid surface countertops here. We have the charcoal stainless steel sink,
looks good,
retractable faucet. I mean,
nice.
So great spot for that, and just great viewing angle with everything. Now coming underneath here, this is probably where I'm seeing my first,
no brass fittings. Again, prototype model, but. And then you see how this is open right here. That's just kind of weird to me. You're taking up space for the speaker area. Again, that's something that can be hidden into the couch and into the ceiling for speakers. So not a huge fan of that. But again, no brass fittings on any of this stuff. And most companies like Brinkley and others have gone over to brass fittings, and that's just kind of a must as far as I'm concerned. And then maybe trying to do some things to keep their price point down and trying to compete with Brinkley, but you got to still keep up with the quality too.
Is expected at
this. You got to figure out other ways to leverage
something like
saving money
on the water lines.
Other than
one of those things where
cut back on quality.
See that unfortunately I am not seeing. Let's see what they're doing with the drawers. Yeah, drawers, unfortunately, same thing. Would have definitely expected to see dovetail joints here in the drawers with a solid.
Definitely got to put dovetail joints on these drawers. I mean, this is a $200,000+ RV. You got to put the dovetails on the joints. You got to do dovetail joints, soft close. I mean, things are starting to be expected in this industry, especially at this price point, and you can't run 5 staples down the side of this thing
interior wood,
and call that good quality.
Hold this in place, so it looks like we certainly do. Okay, that's nice. They do have a going to allow you to, probably even more important than have the entire drawer construction in its entirety. Where your oven underneath here, stove, dimmer light switch here.
It's nice. I just don't like those small spaces where you have to get into where it's just the oven and you're standing there and you're kind of cramped while you're cooking, and then somebody may be behind you and you need to turn around. Like,
Well, for
I don't know.
the light
It's
and
just
the
a little
slide out
cramped
right
in
here.
there. Same oven, same
cabinet
microwave
face.
as what we have in the Brinkley.
Power buttons there. Kitchen space closed. It does look like more than likely not going to be able to open that refrigerator with the slide closed. Maybe. You might be able to open
So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. You're not able to access the refrigerator when that slide is in. There's no possible way that you can do it. It's going to come right up next to that counter. You're not able to access the bathroom. If you see here, that's going to be the bathroom area. This slide's going to come in and it's going to close that off. And then again, the stairs on the slide portion, I think you're able to still leave the slide in and access those stairs and still get into the camper. But, you know, hopefully you don't have to let the slide out in order to go into it. I don't think that one is necessary. I've never had stairs on the slide before, but that's basically 2 slides you have to open if you want to get to the bathroom. 1 slide you have to open if you want to be able to get to the refrigerator, because that bathroom area is definitely going to be closed off right here and you're not going to be able to get to the bathroom. So kind of a bummer. You got to open up 2 slides if you want to get to the bathroom. And there's been, I'm not full time yet, but the traveling that we've been doing, there's been multiple times where I've had to pull over to the side of the road, open up the door, let somebody in to use the bathroom, turn on the water pump and let them use it just sitting on the side of the road or sitting in a parking lot. And I'm not even full time yet. So going full time, being on the road more, that's going to happen more frequently and more often. And it's already happened with us multiple times. And that's almost a deal breaker for me, is having to let out a slide in order to be able to access the bathroom. And on this one, you have to let out 2 slides because you have the wardrobe slide right there that's also going to be in the way. So 2 slides have to open.
It's going to come in. Dang, yeah, it's going to come in all the way right up to here, I would think. So you might not have access. I would err on the side of saying it's probably not going to be accessible with the slide. Light switch here. Got really large trash cans.
Nice.
Pantry
nice
space.
Trash cans.
Refrigerator.
Nice pantry space.
And then you got your
nice
various different brands. Before people hop in here.
Our same
AC
refrigerator
right here, that is
freezer
your
we
mini
have.
split AC system. Also the heater as well. If you don't know much about the mini split systems, one, they are way quieter. I mean, way quieter than your roof mounted AC units, and they are much more efficient at cooling down in RV. So it's closer to like a residential AC system, and without a doubt is going to be the best cooling system and heating system in an RV. I mean, that is probably the biggest singular thing that they've done on this Fifthwheel RV is go.
Love it. Love the mini splits. I mean, you can 105 degree weather. They talked about it on Matt's channel with the actual co-owner of Axiom. They had it in 105 degree weather and they were able to get it down to the coldest setting, which was like 62.5 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is amazing. So we were just in Florida and the temperatures were like 95, 98. We had no shade where we were at. And the most I could keep all 3 air conditions all running at the same time, I could keep them at about 78, 79. So I think these mini splits are super efficient and really good at cooling. And I think even one of these mini splits is enough square footage coverage to cover more than this whole square footage of the camper. So I think having 3 of them, which is, there's one in the toy hauler, one in the main area, one in the bedroom. I think having 3 is completely overkill and it will probably freeze you out of there, all while saving more energy than what the roof mounted units are. So, I mean, the mini splits is definitely the way to go, especially if you're boondocking. I mean, just the energy efficiency alone and the fact that they're able to keep it so much cooler. This is an industry game changer, in my opinion. And I think you're going to see a lot of RV companies start to adopt this. I think that they have some patents and they're some of the first ones to use on a travel trailer for a mini split and have the certifications and all that kind of good stuff. They talk about that in Matt's video. But yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of people starting to use this and trying to figure out ways maybe where they can mount that differently to where it's not so low. And I think you're going to see a lot of innovation in that this upcoming year. And so I'm excited about that. That's awesome.
Going to a mini split system standard and getting everything, approved and passing all of the, stuff that they have to pass to get a mini split AC system set up. Electric heat source for you as well. And then as we go right there, this part of the wardrobe here is in the slide.
Love that.
So as we step through here, got your
huge area. Like I'm already thinking right there, that's my
storage
kids'
there.
closet. Their area is in the
Got a
toy
couple
hauler
massive drawers
area.
here, same supports
But I
underneath those
mean,
drawers
that
too.
could be a
And
perfect
as we turn
area
back
for my
around
2
this way,
kids' clothes
going
for
into
shoes.
the bathroom.
I mean,
it's all to this countertop.
that's
Even the
perfect.
sink is the same material and
I like
built
that
into
sink.
the countertop there. So really like
Nice
that.
built-in sink.
Great.
A couple things I'm going to notice again is that wood paneling there to the left looks just kind of cheap to me. It looks like stick-on wallpaper. And if that was real wood, I think it would look really neat. I like what they're trying to do there and just trying to mix that up a little bit, but it just kind of looks cheap. One thing here, this is a cabinet. That'd be neat to pull out as a trash can like we have in the Brinkley. The bottom one's a pull-out trash can, just save space. Another thing that I'm noticing that I hated in our Raptors, we had a medicine cabinet above the sink. This area is so small there. When you go to spit from brushing your teeth or trying to rinse your face off or anything, you bump your head on this right here. And what's nice about the Brinkley is they actually recessed it into the wall itself, and then you don't have to worry about it sticking out into your bathroom. So something to think about Axiom there is that's just kind of a pain point for me, is I don't like hitting my head right here. And if you could recess it into the structure of the wall, I think that's going to be a much better solution. And that's kind of what Brinkley did, and it works out. You have a little bit that sticks out, but not much, not enough to really like worry about, and it just makes life a little bit easier with the medicine cabinet.
Ceiling height in this upper deck, I mean, it is huge, so big.
Ceiling height is absolutely amazing. Another thing you're going to notice here too is you have a fan that leads to the outside. You don't have a skylight, and again, that's to keep the minimal cuts off the roof as possible. And so you're going to have a vent right there off the side of the shower, and that's where you're going to vent. So no max air fans, nothing like that, which I don't think that's a deal breaker. You have some really energy efficient air conditioning units. You do have some fans. You have a ton of windows. I think you can get plenty of airflow going in this. Even not having the max air fans and having it just kind of exit out on the side of the camper, I don't know, only time will tell. I didn't really pay attention to one, and they didn't really talk about one in the living room or the kitchen area. If you're cooking, what are you doing for ventilation in there? A lot of people like to open up windows, open up the max air fans, and have airflow going through their RV. And so I don't know what that looks like for this just yet. It's not really something that's a major concern of mine, because I haven't done a lot of boondocker or anything else like that. But boondockers out there, you guys may take note of kind of how the airflow situation is in this camper, and it may not be sufficient
for most people. Now, it will work for
me. And that's only just
because
they haven't talked about it.
There is a step up into the shower, so as I step up into this space,
I like the shower head. It's nice. I mean, it is nice when you have the jets kind of on the front, but let's be honest, you know, we have the two forward-facing jets that will spray your body. I never use them. I just use the ones overhead. So it's like a nice idea, but it's something that we don't really use. I do like having an extra wand. That is something that's nice to, you know, hose off the kids, hose off the dog. So having like a little sprayer wand is nice.
Skylights in the
something I'm sure you can
ceiling,
add to it pretty easily, or they may.
And then you have a seat in the shower as well. Very adequate storage all throughout the side. And then you have a seat in the shower as well, so you can't
nice
sit down.
Seat. I do like that. You know,
good storage all throughout this area. All of your
seat is kind of built in there. That is nice, especially for women that need to sit down, shave their legs, all that kind of stuff.
And then we have a porcelain foot flush toilet, plastic toilet seat. This has 110-gallon gray water and black water capacities and 170 gallons.
I didn't really talk about the weights or the gallons or the capacities. Go and look those up. It's heavy. I do know that. And the tank capacities are huge.
Absolutely.
No complaints. I drive an F450, so the weights don't really bother me on the size of it is. I do need to know the pin weight. Just to see, you know, if there's any issues with what the pin weight is going to be. But the weight of the actual camper itself is something that my truck would be able to haul. So if you're already towing a G Series by Brinkley or some of these larger, you know, 20,000 plus GVWR travel trailers, then you're probably still going to be okay with pulling this one. You're not into that where you need a, you know, medium duty or heavy duty truck. I don't think just yet. They are, I mean, I've seen videos of them. They are pulling around with 3500s, 4500s, 450s, 350s. On some of their promotional videos.
In relation to the toilet, turning this way, a couple things real quick. There are no individual shut-off valves on the water line.
Again, no brass fittings.
100% sure at the moment, so we'll find out. And then right here, this is actually just like a fake wood stuck-on design, so it's still like a similar wall panel that you would see from other,
not a fan of that.
You know, from any other.
Maybe it's the color. It kind of looks kind of
wallpaper essentially that's stuck on there that gives it that wood
kind of reddish
outlet
purple.
right here. And then as we step up into the bedroom, tons of space in here. They have.
All right, so what I talked about earlier is some prototypes or some pre-production models that I've seen. This was just like a white wall here, and it was just a blank space, and you had a washer or dryer down here, and it looked plain in there. I don't think they had done this leather headboard here yet, but seeing this window, it is absolutely stunning. This bedroom, I have no complaints over this bedroom. I love the tilting bed. I love the storage above the bed. You have a nice little area right here for if you want to use this like that as a nightstand area. So you don't have a nightstand over here, but you do have at least something that you can put some stuff here or here. I mean, so there is kind of a nightstand area. You see this little nook over here. I like that.
Retractable bed there that is tilted up right now.
You do have a little nightstand over here.
Step up into the space now that you've seen it. I mean, look at how tall. I could almost stretch my arm.
I think Miles is like 6'1" or 6'2".
Into this bedroom. That ceiling height is fantastic.
That is amazing. And then you can see over there on the side, there's the
bedroom.
mini split.
Put into are about 6'4", maybe 6'5" on the ceiling height. This is about Actually, that's more than 6'7". That's got to be closer to about 7 feet almost. At least
and that mini split being right there dumping right onto your bed.
Definitely the tallest space you're going to find, and
amazing.
certainly more suited for the tall people. And now some of this stuff may change too, depending on I think some people.
I'd like to see some drawers underneath the bed right there. We do have that in the Brinkley. It just helps out with some extra storage space. We put some of our kids' clothes in there. There is storage space underneath the bed, but no drawers.
Under that space.
Might be easier to access if those are actually drawers there, and then you did away with the open space.
Got a bedside table right there, outlets and USB ports. Remote for your.
You know, one thing that I didn't notice is any sort of like touchscreen panel or anything for like a One Control or a Firefly or On Command, or you know, I didn't see any of that type situation. I've seen a bunch of remotes and switches and things like that, and not being able to have something accessed easily on your phone is a pretty big deal now in 2025. And so only being able to set your AC from that remote right there, that might be a deal breaker for a lot of people. I like to be able to change my temperature on my phone while I'm laying in bed or outside, or you know, being able to start my generator up from my truck. You know, there's a lot of different things that I do on my phone constantly, from the levelers to lights to, you know, and I don't really see anything like that, or they didn't talk about any sort of smart features. So that's something that
AC
a lot of people probably aren't going to be happy with.
And then we got same kind of window setup, outside headboard design here. We also, of course, have to have washer dryer connections. So you got your washer and dryer here in the bedroom.
Like the idea of the Splendid washer and dryer, but we've been spoiled by the GE all-in-one that we have in our toy hauler, and it goes in the back of our toy hauler. You set it, you forget it, you go to bed at night, you wake up the next morning, the clothes are ready for you to, you know, put away, fold and put away. Having my wife says that we have actually 2 sets in our house now, upstairs and in our garage, of a washer and dryer. And she's like, I just want to get rid of all of them and just do one all-in-one. And I mean, she is in love with the all-in-one that's in the camper. And this not having access really for an all-in-one is kind of a deal breaker for her as far as she's concerned. When she watched us last night, she's like, this is a great utilization of this space, but I love my all-in-one and I'd like to have it in the garage area. And so what would we do here? I mean, you can make a desk, you can make a vanity, you can do something, but is there a space in the garage for the all-in-one? We'll find out.
Think of how easy it's going to be to do laundry right here. Even just like being able to fold your laundry.
Nice little folding table
on top of this countertop.
That is nice.
Big windshield. Another interesting thing. All this like gray piece right here. This is.
I mean, that window is
like another solid surface countertop. It might be.
That is awesome. That's something that you don't see in a fifth wheel at all.
Material up through this.
I love that.
Close those up. You can see your shelving storage that you have on both sides of the bed. Imagine it probably is on a mount that will pull out a bit. Let's go ahead and check that and see if that is the case.
You got your closet area here. On this side, closet area here, nice big deep drawers, nice sitting area where you can put on shoes. You can keep shoes down here. The TV, he tries it to pull it off the wall. So like on the Brinkley, you can pull it and it telescopes out towards you. On this one, they don't have it yet. That's not a big deal at all. Just get a different mount. Axiom can change that out from the factory pretty easily, or you could change it probably for less than 30 or 40 bucks yourself. Not a deal breaker, but definitely would be nice to be able to pull that TV out at night when you're laying in bed or whatever, and it kind of comes out closer to you and it's not in that cubby.
So, something that allows us. I would like to see it have a mount where you can pull it out a little bit further off the wall, because when you definitely see it, but obviously it looks a little. You can get it out to about right here. That would help a ton. Well, and then some big drawers here, plus the massive bedroom space.
Nice drawers.
As we walk back down,
stuff to construction.
Let's go back towards
the barn doors. Work out great.
The bedroom space.
I mean,
as we
I like the barn doors. It saves some space. If they did it as a pocket door, it might help out a little bit more. Just where, you know, you don't see that door on the wall and you're able to add something where that door is. You're able to add something on the front, like a picture frame or, you know, something that you can hang on the wall. But if you can see here, this is the end of this slide. So that is going to completely close up and cover that bathroom when that is closed. So in travel mode, you're not getting to your bedroom, you're not getting to your bathroom at all. Again, I love the opposing slides, having the bed on a tilt and having that opposing wardrobe slide from that is going to free up so much space in the bedroom. And I love the idea, but the give and take here is you can't access the bathroom. And I don't know which one I love more, having all this extra closet space and space in the bedroom, or being able to access the bathroom on travel day. And that's one of those, it's a toss up. It's a 50-50 for me. And there's no deal breaker there just yet that I can think of. Yeah, I don't know which one. I don't know. I don't know which one I would go with.
Let's go back toward walking the space. Okay, the door's going to open this way. One thing to know about this door, there is this rubber.
You can see there's some controllers here for lights and things like that. But again, I haven't seen any touchscreen panels or heard of any apps or anything else.
Door right here, and I can do a
that
demonstration
seal
right now
is
with the
nice,
camera,
and it makes it
the mic
super
on me
good and
person.
soundproof. He does a test here where he's talking, and you cannot hear him. Can't hear him at all. So that
As
seal,
I'm saying, if I went even further back in the fifth wheel RV, if you could hear me.
that seal is super nice. You're already seeing over here on the left-hand side the other mini split, which is nice. I mean, that is just such overkill, in my opinion.
Now, as we enter into this space,
again, that's just such overkill for that small area. But I like overkill with AC.
mini split AC system back here in the garage.
Especially when it's super efficient.
We also have this little flip-down sink area right there.
It's not a urinal. That's a
that
sink.
tucks up out of the way. Outlet here, outlet
here. You have
here.
to kind of get creative in toy haulers when you want a bathroom and you want a sink and you want to try to utilize as much floor space. And so I get the sink over there. It's fine. There's not a mirror, which kind of makes it a little bit weird. There's no like mirror situation. So if your kids are back there, somebody's brushing their teeth or whatever, and they need to look in a mirror or they're getting ready or just whatever. It's always nice to have a mirror where a sink is. I like what they did there with the sink. It's just a little odd, and I think it could be that could be brushed up. Like in the G3950 that we have the sink that actually folds down, and then you have a mirror in there, and that's actually in there where the toilet room is.
Have our controls for our awning, our bed controls, and then when we turn this way, you can see a little bit unconventional with the garage setup. They have a similar to a Happy Jack style bunk system here, but they actually have a 4-cushion sofa in this space, and then nothing along this wall.
So I don't mind not having anything against that wall. 2 couches. Do you really need 2 couches in a toy hauler? No, we don't. One would be fine. It's nice to have all these extra windows here.
Windows back through here.
And the bed, I think, is an adequate sized bed. And so having that just on one wall does make it nice because you do get the extra windows.
If you would have rather seen the
so I
same
don't
bunk
hate
system
that
and
design.
putting it over here as well,
I'm seeing something that I do not like at all.
That would not be possible. Or it's one side, and that's perfectly fine with you. That's a pretty thick mattress here as well. And then this is more of a...
Is that exposed, like, area for the bed, the bed frame to sit on? That's just kind of weird. Like, throw a piece of something under this. I mean, you don't want to make a trap where crumbs and stuff can get stuck underneath it if it's just like a cover there, but I don't know. I don't like that exposed wood look. That just looks completely unfinished to me.
Saw that a lot in Europe, where everything out there had that under the base of
all the beds. So that is just kind of a weird. That's kind of a weird look.
So I personally think this is
that needs to be
pretty adequate for most people. Now I can certainly see the argument for maybe you want the additional out and configure as well. You have the camera there to monitor any toys that you have. Now it feels like that's like a
3-season doors with the screen door in the middle. I like that. You see this big gap right here? That is weird to me. And what I've noticed is they're using the older style with the big, long frame that goes on the outside. And you can see that. And then they're using like the lever handles on the outside for the toy hauler. Also, I've seen where the railing is like it folds down onto the ramp itself versus like ours. It kind of like all folds together, and it goes up close to the 3 Seasons doors right here, and it's not on the ramp, which is just going to add extra weight to the ramp. Like I've seen some pictures of that. I don't know how they're going to finally do that, but that gap right there is very weird, and I'm not sure that there's a dovetail, which if it is a lower camper, it may not need a dovetail, or they may be using a taller door and you may not need that drop down for the dovetail, but it doesn't look like there's a dovetail there. But they're using an older school thing here that I really I'm not a fan of that at all. That gap is terrible.
But they built in this little center. Talk about a couple things up here real quick because we do
bathroom. It's a toy hauler. It's a half bath.
In this model, it has this sliding door right here, so you'll have to pull this.
Don't mind the sliding door.
It will.
We have like a sliding wall system, but again, we have our sink mounted up against this wall right here, and it kind of comes down like a trundle bed or I forget what they call that, but it folds down. You have a sink, you have a mirror above you. It's just nice. I don't know if Brinkley's got a patent on that, but it works. It's a little odd, but it works for what it is, for space saving, and you hardly use it. So seeing something like that where the toilet actually is
even attempting to look at
is nice. This toilet being off center from this wall is very weird too. So you have like a really open area here, and then you have your legs going to be, I mean, that right there, Matt did a review on it and said this was not a prime pooping position. You know, his reviews, Bing is a prime pooping position. This was not one of them. And I think it's because it's off-centered here, which is kind of weird. And I'm assuming there might be a frame that runs here and they can't get the plumbing where it needs to be. I run into a really big issue right here.
Oh, you know what? I think that's it, actually. place right there, and it actually just goes right there. So it's just maybe 1.5 feet worth of space or so that gives you that privacy to the half bath. Have a vent right there, and then we have a magnet catch right there, but you can see the rail system running through the side underneath here for when you need to get your toys in place. Let's see if you're transporting toys too. That door.
If you're transporting toys, that door does not shut in any position. So it's just flopping there. There's no way to shut that door back once you push that wall away. There's no way to shut that door there. You have to shut it up against the wall, and you're covering the
trap.
trap.
All the way the other direction, so that door will have to go right there, which kind of defeats the purpose of the tie-down straps in that area behind the door. But nonetheless, you have tie-downs running down the side.
Again, another weird design. It just looks kind of half thought out, and maybe a little bit more engineering needs to go into this little half bathroom.
Now, I'm not sure how big of a concern it might be to not.
But check out a Brinkley G3950 or one of the Brinkley G4100s, all of them that have the bath in the back that the wall collapses. Look at the sink on those. Look at where the toilet is. It works for what it is, and it gives you maximum space in the garage, and it just works for now.
In the middle. I don't think it's a huge problem. Even thinking about, I'm sure we'd still find a way to get straps over to that end, even if we had to go over or under the motorcycle or something like that. But I could see how that could be a little bit annoying versus having a middle column right here potentially to also be able to not having a middle column. Patio, your armless awning with LED light strip in it.
Like that.
Nice white gate around the perimeter here. And
if you're doing a midnight package, you probably want all this stuff to be black as well.
On all of your designs here for the doors as well. We have a backup camera.
When they're talking to one of the owners, he said that they are going to do that on the midnight packages. They're probably going to make all this white stuff black. And then on the ones where it's the two-tone with the white and black package, which looks really nice to me, then have that one white. But you see, these are the actual door latches that I was talking about on the outside, where they roll in. You have a lever that pushes down, like on a 18-wheeler or a Connex trailer or something like that. I've seen them on older model toy haulers, like some of the first generation toy haulers, but mainly now what they've done is gone to the keyed lock unit, and you just have two plastic handles on the side, and you unlock the key and it goes click click, and it's got a solenoid on top, and it unlocks it, and you can let it down. You're not dealing with these big bulky latches and handles where you got to go do one or the other. It's not a deal breaker to me, but this looks like dated, antiquated technology. I think there's some newer stuff out there that can definitely be done to kind of clean that up a little bit, make it a little bit more modern.
Here, but remember, you do have that JBL party box inside. And then finally, up in the corner of this garage, you have your TV.
TV's cool, great. If you're on the couch, you're not watching that TV. It doesn't look like there's any sort of tilt mount or anything that's coming down. The only way you're watching that TV is if you're in bed and you're in the bed position. If not, you're looking up like this, trying to watch that TV. So having something that doesn't drop down is kind of odd. Now, they do have a patio version that has a side patio. Miles is going to talk about in a second. And the TV, I think, is here instead of where this window is. And I'm sure that's probably on a drop bracket, so it'll come down, which is a little bit nicer. It'll kind of be in the, you're not sitting on the couch watching the TV like this. You're going to be here and kind of looking up. Makes it a little bit better. But that position is,
so you have the TV there, terrible. And keep in mind, again, the loft is in the living space of this fifth wheel RV. Everything on the inside of this fifth wheel RV. I'm giving it a quick look over to see talk about this or talk about that. If you, but I think, yeah, just a single pane window on those windows. I think that's everything on the inside.
So in Matt's review, they talked about that they are going to offer a dinette version to go where half of the couch is, which I think is cool. If they could do something where some more cabinetry, talking over here where this long couch is, so you can have a little dinette with some chairs or whatever. That's nice that they are giving that option. I don't know if they're going to be giving options like dual pane windows or anything else like that, but most manufacturers are, so I'm assuming they're probably going to do something like that. So even though this one has single pane windows, they're probably going to have an option to have the dual
go ahead
pane
and
windows.
Oh, this is something I wanted to look at actually. Underneath the slide out today, and having been, Keystone is one of the few and only manufacturers that wraps the subfloor down underneath their slide out boxes. On that to see if it's common amongst what we talked about everything here. They're doing a vacuum bonded laminated sidewall with steel construction. They're saying that's
so that exterior is actually not a full body paint. The way that they're doing their,
so just talking about how big all the windows are.
It's the way that they're doing their fiberglass, and it looks great. I love it. I mean, I like the white and black. I like the full on black. Black camper in the sun is going to absorb a ton of heat, but if you're doing the exterior walls right, you have the mini splits running right at a high efficiency that can cool it down. I don't know if you can complain about black being like a heat catcher because of the way that they're doing things, but I would be curious to see, as people start to take ownership of these and, have complaints or concerns or whatever, that they're taking these things to Florida sunshine in the summer the AC is able to keep up, or is it just absolutely ridiculous and they regret doing that purchase? Now, you are going to have a white roof on it, I'm assuming. And then if you do the one that has the white and black, you are going to have some white on it with a little bit of black, which is what our Brinkley has anyway. So no
and then we have
there.
No ceiling ducts or rooftop AC systems. We talked about that. 9'8" in the living room, 8'6" in the slide rooms, and then 7 feet in the bedroom and 7'7" in the. Let's
like those composite steps. I mean, it makes it lightweight. Seeing more people do that in the industry.
I know going through the outside because there's quite a bit to talk about here as well.
H-rated tires, but they are H-rated tires.
H-rated tire. It's a Navitrack, and
I like to see Cooper on them. Cooper is just a good name brand, no issues. That's just kind of standard with premium in the industry now. If you're getting a premium product, to have those Cooper H-rated,
S20.
It's just something that you like to see.
And it says Power King on it. Now, traditional rated tires, because nothing out here has the. I'm not exactly sure. Down underneath here, so I've seen this on a few other brands as well.
So they're going to the Kurt independent coil suspension. I like that, getting away from the leaf springs, leaf packs with web bolts and all that. That, you know, all the comments and the funny things are is, you know, they put those on horse and buggies. So why is it on a $250,000? You know, I am liking seeing that they got shocks and struts and coils, and that's a nice
there, and
I like
solid.
that. And
with that independent suspension system, we got our generator down underneath here under the fifth wheel RV, so not taking up any storage space. Certainly an interesting concept was that, having the generator under the fifth wheel RV so it doesn't eat up the front storage space on this fifth wheel. But that's gonna,
I mean, that is so low. That's a couple $1,000 generator you have sitting there that rocks are going to come up and hit. I don't really see a lot of protection around that. It doesn't look like I'm seeing any arms or anything to drop that down. So if you're doing any sort of work or anything on that, or you laying down on the ground to work on it, it would be nice to see. It doesn't have to be power, but some sort of manual lever system that can bring the generator down. And so if you need to work on it, you're dropping it down and it unlocks out of a place, and you can, you know, have access to it right there on the side, to where you're not having to lay down to do any of that. I love having the generator there because it's probably going to make it a little bit more quieter. It's not in a bay that's going to make a bay hot, and it's just, it makes more storage in the front. So I love the idea there, but I think we're like 75% there with some sort of idea of, you know, making sure that it's not going to hit anything. So some sort of cage around it, some sort of skid plate protection around it. It looks like that spare tire is going to help a little bit, but that spare tire is only going to help a little bit in certain situations.
Either a 5,500 watt or 6,000 watt generator. In fact, they have it right here. Yeah, so it's this NPS 6,000 watt generator right there.
Nice generator.
So we keep coming back this way. There's a propane quick connect line down underneath here. Looks like we have 2 fuel tanks underneath this toy hauler, so likely 60 gallons of fuel capacity on this fifth wheel.
It is 60 gallons.
You can see that it is cable assisted for the weight on this patio.
Assisted.
And then down
underneath. And then you see this long, exposed, just kind of weird system here that it's not on ours at all. It's hidden. There is no joint. There is no hinge. You're not seeing any of that. And that is just something that you see on the older model toy haulers.
Here, they also have the springs there for a bit of assist as well.
So one thing I liked about our Raptor is we did have the additional leg support right there.
The patio setup,
you can take the ties off of the side, like the little tie downs. You have some leg supports there, and then it just kind of takes the shake out of it. You can take the steps over here and you can move them to the campsite side. And then what it allows you to do is get rid of these hooks here. You have legs on the rear, so again, you're getting rid of that shake. You get rid of those hooks, and then also a lot of times we overhang onto like a creek or something like that, and so we're never able to use those back stairs unless it's completely level behind the unit. It just gives you the stairs on this side, so then that way if you are overhanging a little bit, or if it starts to drop off a little bit, maybe you're able to get the steps on the side right there and still be able to utilize your steps. So I do like that in the Raptor, having those side steps on the campsite side, and then having those extra feet so you can remove the cables if it works out and you're in a flat area, and you can extend those legs long enough to where you can remove those cables. It just, like I said, it just takes that shake out. It's just nice. I do like having that. They look a little bad when you're going down the road and you see those little legs hanging up there. But, you know, aesthetic wise, you can kind of get over it. One thing that I like about the Brinkley is the tall tail lights in the rear. It just gives you that added security of brake lights, running lights. You have these tall lights that are going down the side, and it looks like they're only down here low. I watch a lot of YouTube reviewers and stuff. That's one complaint that they have on their campers a lot of times, and they'll add extra lights going on the side. So it is nice that on the Brinkley that it's there. I think it would be nice for them to add some extra taller, turn indicators and stop indicators, all that kind of good stuff on the side. So that is something that I would like to kind of see done.
Step to get up into the patio. And as we come along this way, have a
latch handle system here that I'm not a fan of.
50 amp power
love
reel.
the power reel.
Really love to see this.
Something on the Brinkley, we have the power reel, but it's just a storage reel, so you have to unwind it every single time, then plug it into the camper, plug it into your power, and when you're done with that, you unplug it from the power, you unplug it from the camper, and then you put it in the reel, and then you reel it up. This one, it seems like the power reel itself already has power to it, and then you're just able to use, like, if you need 5 foot of it, or if you need 10 foot of it, if you need all 50 feet of it, whatever it is, you're able to take it out and only use the amount that you need, and you have to take it off the whole reel. And it's not really just this is good because it's a storage solution, as well as they've kind of figured it out for a good power solution as well. So that's something that I really like.
One, you never have to figure out where to store your power
Brinkley.
cord. Two, these power cords always get really dirty and are just annoying to carry around.
You can see the fuel station there. It's got a fuel pump in there. So you get a 30-gallon auxiliary tank and then a 30-gallon tank for your generator, which that's pretty standard. Same thing that we have on the Brinkley.
And then we'll go ahead and
close the mini split there.
The drain
see how
valve here.
low that mini
so
split
that's going
is.
to make sure that if there's any
see
liquids
no
here that accidentally got there that you were
split.
unaware of, you can see.
There's your generator.
And again, you can see underneath
again, if there's something that they could put it on something where it could swivel down to you on some hydraulic, just I don't know, some sort of strut assisted, unlock it, it comes out. It's just so exposed right there too. I mean, there's no cage around that.
Under that space.
That mini split. I mean, so many people take off these rear jacks. They hit these rear jacks right here. I see it in groups all the time. Where can I get a replacement? It's just something that gets hit when you're doing switchbacks in mountains, and as you're going around a curve and it's getting lower, the trailer gets much lower, and the truck's going down a hill. You're in a turn, coming out of a driveway, and you kind of get in the ditch a little bit, and the ditch gets a little bit lower, or some sort of culvert area. I mean, it is just such a prone thing to hit the rear of these things because of how long they are. This thing's 47 foot long, I believe. Then you have a mini split behind the thing that's already getting hit, which means that's going to even end up being lower. Something's got to be done there. Love the mini split idea.
Valve right there. See our
Love it.
frame rack and pinion style slide
But that's going to get ripped off and destroyed. And I don't know if what they're trying to do is just make a park model. Oh, you see these taller taillights? That's what I was talking about earlier. This is, I think, a different brand that's actually behind them. It's not Axiom, but those taller taillights is something I was talking about. Bracket's the same thing that we have on the Brinkley. I like that, so you don't have some sort of ladder that's just hanging off. It just keeps a nice, clean, crisp exterior look. I do like that a lot.
No, true ladder installed. It does sit kind of close to the ground.
I don't know if this is going to be a park model or a destination trailer. I don't know if you're going to be doing a lot of boondocking with this, the way that it's set up. It is super low. Our Brinkley is already low. I know people kind of complain about that. On the G model, you have this like drop deck in front of the front frame. I've never had any issues with it. My truck is a little bit higher. I use airbags, so I even get it up higher. But this thing is much lower than the Brinkley. I mean, you can see these legs are only out like a few inches, and this looks like it's on fairly flat ground. All the other legs look like they're out about the same length, which leads me to believe that it's fairly level and flat ground. And this thing's only out like a few inches here. So this is super low. I have seen on some of the height videos that they've been doing and stuff, the trucks that are pulling them, I mean, they look super low to the ground. So while they're being towed, it looks low. That's low.
Get pretty dang close to the ground. Will sit at your campsite. We have a
There's another
split system under there and your tankless water heater. Then we have electric valves that'll be in the underbelly.
Black tank valves, instead of having the manual valves, you got to pull, having buttons. That's great. We have that in the Brinkley. You can already see this is a Starlink prepped unit, which is cool. Everybody should be going to that. We don't have that on the Brinkley. I'm going to end up running something out in a future video. I'll show you guys that. I'm going to run something down through some conduit that's already there. I'm going to kind of make up my own Starlink prep essentially like that. It won't be as clean looking as that, but that is nice. I do like how on the Brinkley your water station and everything faces out, so you're not having to like get in and look in to see what you're doing, and things are on kind of weird angles. So I would like to see them do something where it faces outward and maybe it's individualized from yeah, it's just nice that you have your own station with all this stuff. It feels purpose driven on the Brinkley, that it's all right there. It's all easily accessible. And on this, I feel like it's just kind of an afterthought, and it was just kind of put in on this wall because we had extra space on this wall. It doesn't feel very thought out.
Great tank dump valves, that makes this have that heat. Then you do have a Starlink system, which a lot of people are going to these days. Got your Furion side camera, have the Slim Rack Plus
seems to be
slide system right
nice.
here, which is similar to a Schwinn type slide mechanism, but everything I've heard about this is
nice, no complaints.
System. Be curious to see how this performs over time, but a lot of the highest end stuff out in the market across various different brands are using this Slim Rack
Love the
Plus
aesthetics
system
of this thing. I mean, it is
storage
absolutely
spacer there with the
beautiful.
pull-out tray. I guess I forgot we already looked at that. Got your touchpad auto leveling controls here, 6-point hydraulic auto leveling, and as we step back, that is pretty much everything on this Axiom. We do want to talk about this exterior that they have. See how it has that automotive kind of mirror-like finish there. This is the Noble Icon package. This is going to be standard for what it comes with, but it has that gloss finish, wood-free, so all composite materials in the sidewall. Supposedly it has enhanced performance from like the UV protection, and then it's glue and adhesive free, it says as well, and it's impact and abrasion and also puncture resistant, it says. So I don't really want to put that to the test necessarily, but that's what it says. So supposedly everything with the sidewall setup is going to be maintained and look a lot better for a lot longer period of time. So weight on this is going to be right around 19,700 pounds, and then it's going to get up to about that 24,000 pound gross vehicle weight rating. So
7 or something like that on our Brinkley. And I think we're 22.5 fully loaded. So I think it's around 18.7, 18.5. I could be wrong by a few hundred pounds there on the dry weight, but loaded we're at 22.5. So this is going to be, you know, about a ton heavier than that.
Like a little over 4,000 pounds on the cargo carrying capacity on this monster of a fifth wheel RV. Again, it's about 47 feet.
So a lot of these guys are salesmen for their companies, and they're going to give some reviews, but they also want to sell these units, right? So they're not going to give it crazy critiques like I'm doing right now. And that's why I wanted to take the opportunity to do this and to have like an honest, candid feedback with you guys, maybe with Axiom, whoever's watching this, I can kind of give them my thoughts on, you know, a lot of research that I've done, owning a toy hauler, owning the RV, wanting to go full time, having a family of you know, 4 with animals. You know, what does that look like for me? And I'm not trying to sell a product. And so again, love Brinkley, and I am not married to Brinkley. I have no relationship or affiliation or getting paid from them or anything else. And so I feel like this is kind of a cool video because I can kind of give you guys an honest review and an honest feedback, and I'm not trying to sell something or worry about
I start to see them coming to stores and showing up online.
Now, Axiom, if you want to reach out to me and we want to do some sort of collaboration or something like that, and you can take some of my ideas and what I'm all for that. So let's talk if you want to talk.
An effort to go out and film them again so you can know that they're showing up and starting to be available in stock. But that is something that I'm just not comfortable saying a price exactly yet because I truly have no idea.
So in Matt's video yesterday, I believe that they said that there's going to be a starting price point around like 230, 220, 230, somewhere in there was a starting price on a Vendetta. So you're seeing the same thing for Brinkley G3950. I think our MSRP when we bought it was 220. I think now that's pushed up to 240, 250 with tariffs and just inflation. And they also go into the 2026 model. They made a lot of different improvements with standard disc brakes, no more drum brakes. They went with a higher rating axle. You can get the more ride independent suspension. The roof is different. They went to a Victron solar system instead of the Rich solar, kind of updated some stuff, made some improvements to it, and there's going to be some added cost for that. But they're going to be right there knocking on the door of G3950, G4100 without full body paint. Now you got to think too, those are going to be decaled units. This thing looks like a full body paint, but you're not paying the $25,000 premium for full body paint. And I love full body paint. It looks awesome. It adds some strength and it adds some insulation factor, but I don't see spending the extra $20,000+ for it. I just don't think you're going to get it back in resale and stuff. And I think you're just throwing that money away. Looks great. It's just not really anything for me unless I can get a really good deal on it.
These online at for a retail sales price, and it's very possible and pretty realistic just looking at previous year releases, like Brinkley being the most obvious recent example. For about the first couple years, there was no coming off of the MSRP price hardly at all. I mean, that's just kind of what it was. And so I don't know if that will be a similar case with this or what it's going to be exactly. Well, time will tell.
So what he's saying there is Brinkley and other manufacturers offer significant discounts from MSRP. I mean, ours, like I said, was $220. We didn't pay anywhere near that. I mean, I want to say that we got close to 25 or 30% off of MSRP Just that's just what it is. The industry determines the MSRP, and then your dealers determine what they're going to sell it for and how they want to mark it up and do all their back end cost in it. So MSRP really doesn't mean a lot in this industry. It doesn't seem like, from what I've learned. It's more of a reference.
The side patio setup real quick before we head out of here, but if I missed anything, if there's anything else that you want to know that I set up here, which is kind of like a test of concept to see if people would actually like it, so let's know what you think. But this is basically a mounting system. Nonetheless, a switch you would actually consider using in purchase.
So I want to talk.
It's a side patio that's onto your RV. This here is the side patio setup.
Vendetta side patio. You can see this has the white on the bottom, the black on top, so it's not the midnight edition. It's a different camper here, and I think some of the other guys are going to review the ones with the side patios. The non-toy hauler unit also has a side patio on one of those. Into this wall. Haven't seen a review of it yet. That we see here will still be a window for Miles is
the interior
kind of the
space on this toy hauler, and everything about this toy hauler is the same except for the fact that this one has a side patio, which will also again increase the price a little bit.
So it looks like there he just walked into the bathroom, walked through the bathroom door. So you walk out and you see that toilet is on a riser here too. So he doesn't really go into detail on this one, but this one is on a riser, and it looks like it's off this wall a little bit. So I can't tell. I might have been wrong on the other one, but it looks like this one's a little bit of a different setup, but you're kind of walking into the half bath. I don't mind that, because if you want to be able to walk into a door and just like, hey, somebody needs to use the bathroom in your camper, yeah, walk in that door right there. It's in there. You're not giving them any instructions, nothing special. You're walking right into a bathroom door. I don't mind that at all. Little odd that you have to walk through two doors to get outside from the inside, but it's not deal breaker. And you see this is the TV up there, and then you don't have that extra window. Like the side patio ideas, their power come up. It turns into a window when it's up, but I just don't understand why you would want it on a toy hauler that has a patio right here. That just seems overkill to me. If you had a side patio here, maybe with an outdoor kitchen on this wall that has a refrigerator, a sink, some counter space, things like that, I can see maybe having that there because it gives you an extra cooking area and it doesn't take up your patio space. But I don't understand why you'd want. I mean, if you're paying for it, great, get it. But I just feel like this is an extra cost that is completely unnecessary. You have a patio literally inches away from this. I know you're going to be looking at a different area. Maybe you're in an area a lot of times where you can't let down the back door and enjoy that patio. So a side patio helps you out there.
Right here for the patio.
To me, that just seems kind of like a
sweet spot to hang out at.
Over-engineered kind of waste.
Privacy shades with the reflective
something maybe to create some height,
or when you have this door closed and want to have shade on those privacy windows.
Excited about.
So, or want to have privacy from those windows, I should say. So this is going to be another. The other model, and then make sure to stay tuned. I do have videos coming of the Imperium models as well. The Imperium models are going to be their non-toy hauler fifth wheel RVs. This one here likely going to be their staple. Is going to be their shortest.
So you can see another Imperium over here, which again, that's their non-toy hauler, which you just talked about, and it looks like off the front bedroom area, there's going to be a patio area there. That's pretty cool. You don't have a patio on a non-toy hauler version, so having that patio off that is going to make that bedroom look huge. I haven't seen any of the review videos of it yet. I'm assuming this is the master bedroom area. It could be a front living area unit. I don't know, but that front patio looks pretty cool. So I'm going to leave you with this. This is going to be my final thoughts of it. Did I make a mistake in buying the Brinkley a little too early and not waiting on the Axiom? Am I going to take the Brinkley and trade it in? Am I super excited about the Axiom? And my answer to that is going to be, I like the Brinkley more right now. Now, again, reiterating what I said in the beginning of the video, I think that it is awesome. These independent people are going out there and they're creating these awesome looking, neat products like the Axiom, like Brinkley, like I think Alliance is kind of that same way. I've been paying attention to a lot of the different EV manufacturers of the smaller travel trailers, single axle. They can go behind like a Cybertruck or a Rivian. They're self-contained, like they drive behind, like they have motors inside of them that help pull to offset some of the drag. Those are cool. They look really cool. They don't look anything like a current RV where it's like a box and a bunch of little awnings hanging off and steps that are made by a different manufacturer. Everything looks made and manufactured together. And I'm really excited about that for the industry because I'm getting into this industry and I'm learning a lot about it. I'm finding a lot of passion for this. And again, I'm not a salesperson. I don't have any fight in this, but I'm very interested in the industry and I like making videos and content around the industry. It's just something that I've kind of been passionate about lately. And so I love seeing this and I love seeing these, concepts kind of come to life. But for me, there's just too much in I think the Axiom that I don't like. The size of the kitchen, not knowing the battery specs or knowing much about the battery or the solar is kind of just like one of those things that's a little different for me. Not seeing any gooseneck trailer options on any of these kind of makes me worried if they're going to offer a gooseneck. That's something that's really big to me. The rear bathroom situation is just very strange. I don't see where we could fit our all-in-one washer and dryer in the rear that would just work. The slide situations where we talked about having to open up 2 slides or be able to go to the refrigerator. That is like, I don't know if that's a deal breaker, but it's just a negative for me. And something that's a really big negative for me is that loft space going into the kitchen and kind of the kitchen size and everything else. I think too much emphasis was done on the living room and making it huge, just kind of killed off the kitchen area. I think some of the low areas, I'm really concerned with how low some of these areas are, and it's going to scrub. I don't know if it's a deal breaker for having the steps on the outside for me. I don't like the rear latch system on the tailgate. I think that could be improved majorly. Love the mini splits, but I think they're going to get drug on the ground. I think they're going to get ripped off. The same with the generator, not having access to that. I feel like Axiom, you're doing an amazing job. You've worried a lot about aesthetics and you've worried about a lot of different innovations and changes, but I don't know if a lot of things have been practical in design. It's beautiful. The product is beautiful. The mini split units are a revolution to the industry, and I think you're going to see a lot of people go that route. But what I'm seeing is just, where do you put it? And I don't know if there's a good spot for that. And I don't, I know you guys have put a lot of thought into this and, where you're putting these things, but I just think that there's going to have to be some different versions, and maybe a year or 2 down the road, I'm seeing some different versions and seeing some pain points that you guys are going to go through from real world testing. I think are really going to put a lot of this to the test. And so I don't want to be an early adopter of what I see right now. I'm happy with our Brinkley, but I'm excited about what you guys are doing. I'm excited about the Imperium lineup and the Vendetta lineup. I think it's awesome. Keep going. There may be some changes. Again, these are prototypes. I may be eating my words in a month from now when these things are actually going to lots, and I really want to see one. I want to put my hands on one, and we may be going to the Tampa show this year, and I hope they are there so we can actually put our hands on it. I think they're doing some awesome stuff, and I'm not married to Brinkley. I would love to see other people come in there in that space and create competition and create innovation and really just thrive. And so I'm excited about seeing where you guys are going in the future with this. And, hopefully I can own one in the future. But right now, we're happy with what we have, and we're going to stick this out. And so I'm excited about seeing more reviews on these. I'm excited about seeing where the industry is going to go and kind of changing up the status quo of what the industry is doing right now. And so, yeah, I look forward to checking you guys out in the future and seeing more innovations and changes, and I'm excited about it. So, guys, I know this is kind of the first time I've ever done a video like this where I'm doing a review and kind of a reaction and everything else, but I kind of felt like it was necessary for just what we're seeing in the industry right now and kind of giving my thoughts and input on that. And so I'm sorry if it's not my normal content. I'm in the middle of editing like 4 different travel videos right now. So I'm hoping we're going to have some new content in the next couple weeks where I can put out a video a week. And so we got a lot of content going on right now. So let me know in the comments if you like this style video. Maybe we can kind of throw this in the mix every once in a while. I'm excited about it. Maybe we can go do some tours at different shows and all that kind of good stuff. And I kind of like this. This was fun. So guys, if you like what you see and you like travel content and everything, make sure you smash that subscribe button. I really appreciate it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.